New York has always been synonymous with crime, filth, crime, but today it's actually really safe. I want to revisit the New York of old. To help me, I've invited a friend of mine, Bill Cannon. He was a former NYPD homicide detective for 26 years. Please welcome Bill Cannon. Hey, how are you doing?
Great, man.
How's it going?
Hey, pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Do you still have a badge?
Yeah. See, I was actually a sergeant, not a detective. I was in charge of 6 detectives in my unit.
I'm in a similar field. I'm a New York City tour guide.
You got a badge?
Funny you should ask. That's right there.
That's not a badge, it's a card.
What are you, the badge police? So you're a stand-up comedian.
That's right.
Are you ever worried that people you've arrested are gonna find your stand-up online and post mean comments? What if someone posted, "The audience is exercising its right to remain silent"? What if they commented something like, "This guy should audition for a role in NYPD, boo"?
That's a good one.
I thought we could walk around the city today. I could show you a couple things as a New York City tour guide. Thank you. And you show me some things as a former cop.
Absolutely.
Want to do this?
Yeah,
let's go. So this is the old NYPD headquarters, 240 Center Street. So this was actually built in 1909 to serve as the NYPD headquarters after New York City consolidated as the 5 boroughs in 1898.
Wow, I wouldn't have known that.
I know you wouldn't have. Can you guess what's inside now?
Gotta be condos.
Yeah, it's condos. In the 1990s, this was actually home to Cindy Crawford, Christy Turlington, and Linda Evangelista.
Wow.
Yeah. Talk about New York's finest. So what's your station house like?
Most police precincts in the city are dirty, ugly.
Do you guys like play pranks on each other?
If you have any kind of an affliction, a stutter, any physical affliction, you're done. There was this girl that had a big spot on the side of her face. You know what her name became?
What?
Spot.
You were a monster.
That's horrible, right?
Good Lord. Should we try to go inside this thing?
Absolutely. Yes.
Hey, how are you? Would it be possible to come in and see the building?
No.
Actually, hold on one second. I'm actually a New York City tour guide.
No, sorry. Okay. It's got a lot of power, that little badge you got.
All right. No respect. All right, well, that didn't work. So now we're going to go to Little Italy. Show you something there. Pretty cool.
You got better connections there than you had here.
All right. So we're at the corner of Mulberry and Hester, which used to be the site of Umberto's Clam House, where in 1972 Crazy Joe Gallo was murdered on his 43rd birthday while eating scungili. Crazy Joe Gallo was a famous mobster. He was friends with a lot of famous people. Jerry Orbach, Bob Dylan wrote a song about him.
Joey, Joey.
That night, 5 men came. 4 of them went in through the back door while one waited in the car, and they came and started shooting at him while he was sitting at dinner with his family. Then he staggers out to the door and actually collapses outside because they say he wanted to get the gunfire away from his family.
That's a stand-up wise guy.
He's a good man, I guess. And earlier that night, he was actually watching a show at the Copacabana by Don Rickles, believe it or not, famous comedian.
Now he can die. You see Don Rickles, now you can die.
Did you just call him Don Wrinkles?
No, well, maybe I did.
That'd be a pretty good roast.
Yeah,
That'd be a pretty good roast. That's pretty good. Do you want to go keep walking around?
Let's head uptown.
So what are we doing here?
This is the 2-3 precinct, El Barrio. I was the commanding officer of the robbery unit.
What's the craziest thing you ever saw here?
Well, we had a guy one time who was invited to a party. He was the guest of honor, and they tortured him, and they cut off his head and his hands.
He was the guest of honor.
Guest of honor.
I hate to see what they did to the coat check person. Did you ever get into a fight with a cop?
Not a physical altercation, lots of yelling.
Did you have to arrest yourself for obstructing justice? Well, cool. Should we go see something in the neighborhood?
Let's go up to Rails.
All right, so what are we doing here?
In 2003, a guy was at the bar, a wise guy, maid guy, and this woman, a Broadway singer, was singing, and he made some real derogatory remarks about her singing. And this short little guy named Louis Barone, Louis Lump Lump, he said to me, dude, why don't you give the lady a break, have a little respect. And he said, oh really? He goes, I'll right in the and the old man goes, no, you won't. He pulls out a gun and shoots him dead right at the bar.
Wow. And you worked this case?
Well, it wasn't a tough case. He walked outside. The police grabbed him, put handcuffs on him. It wasn't really a whodunit.
What is Rayo's now?
It's a famous celebrity hangout. There's only 8 tables. It takes about 6 months to a year to get a reservation.
So celebrities like Bill Nye?
Well, Uma Thurman, anyone who's anyone in the city.
So was the restaurant cooperative with the investigation?
No one saw anything. The bartender, Vinny the Vest.
The bartender's name was Vinny the Vest?
That's, yeah, because he always wore a vest.
If you had a nickname about what you wear all the time, would your name be Bill Newsy Cannon?
No, it'd be Billy Big Guns Cannon.
That's very inappropriate. This is a family travel show. Why don't we head to this other really cool spot that I know?
Absolutely.
Want to do it?
Sure.
Shotgun.
Let's do it. What murder happened here?
Oh, this is just my apartment. No murder happened here.
Where'd you get that jacket?
I just got out of your trunk.
Bad boys, what you gonna do?
What are we doing here again?
One sec. So I have a friend of mine who's an actual cop coming over, and we're going to talk to him.
Actuals, you mean as compared to being retired?
As compared to being old and a burden.
Okay.
So how long have you been a police officer?
12 years.
Right.
I've had so many different strange encounters, but I've also had some really great ones.
What's the greatest one?
Thank you cards from an entire kindergarten.
Oh, that was nice.
That was great.
You ever get a thank you card, Bill?
Sure.
Yeah, right. How'd you become a police officer?
My brother didn't have any guidance when he was younger, so I tried to coax him into taking the test. And he turned around at me and said, well, if the job is so good, why don't you sit for the exam? And so being the older brother, I had to lead by example, and 12 years later, here I am.
So you became a police officer because your brother dared you to become a police officer?
Yes.
Huh. You know, Bill's a stand-up comedian.
I can see that.
Do you think he would be a good stand-up comedian?
Why not? Hey, listen, if they're willing to pay you.
Who said anything about pay? He doesn't know comedy.
All right, that's enough, guys, please. You want to tell him a joke?
Sure. What does Batman and the fire department have in common?
I used to know this.
They don't go anywhere without Robin.
I love that one.
So you actually are an actor as well, right?
I am, yes.
And you actually did a part on Blue Bloods
I did.
because of your experience as a police officer, right?
Yes.
What was it like meeting Tom Selleck?
Did you ever know that you're my hero?
I did not meet Tom Selleck. I did meet Marky Mark's brother, though.
You know, I was actually on the same episode as you.
I don't remember you being there.
We have a clip.
Oh, okay.
It's right over there.
Supposed to be watching them around the clock.
We were. We got units in front and in the back.
Detective Marky Mark's brother? You're gonna want to see this. See? I was in it. So that's pretty much all the questions I have. Do you have any? I think that was a pretty successful interview.
I think you got another successful episode in the books.
Thanks. So what do we do now?